What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel once again, and welcome to the return of TSGG Indie Adventures. This series has taken a month sabbatical, I guess you would call it, while I was gone, and then coming back. I started up Game Pass Gold, but we did not get back into Indie Adventures yet. We wanted to start with this one because of the fact that Telltale Games has unfortunately closed a few months back, but their games are still incredible. They're still out there, so you should definitely grab them if you're able to and play them. Today's video is going to be on Telltale Games Batman. It's just another part of their series. If you don't know Telltale Games, they sort of do story-driven games based on like comic books, or sorry, not based on comic books, but based on a lot of things. They've done fairy tales, they've done Game of Thrones, things of that nature. They've done Batman here, obviously. But it's sort of, when I say comic books, what I actually meant was it sort of looks and plays in a comic book. It's sort of comic strips as it goes, and the stories are very excellent stories. They're very story-driven games, and your choices do impact them as you go through. So they're very, very fun and enjoyable games with a lot of replayability for that factor. But as always, if you enjoy it, leave a like and subscribe, and hope you have an awesome week. But let's break into it real quickly, diving into fun factor and emergence of these games. As I said at the top, these games are very story driven. So if you don't enjoy a story and you're looking for a fast paced game, this is not going to be it for you. These games are very, very narrative story driven, and they're not a lot of action. They're not a lot of, well, they are a lot of action, but a lot of it is actually reading or choice based. They're not so much like, it's not a first person shooter, it's not a third person sword and magic. It's not anything like that. Telltale kind of had their own corner of the gaming market. Unfortunately, they did close because it wasn't as successful as they would have liked. For me, I absolutely love the games. I was very sad to see that they were closing. However, I know a lot of their developers are getting picked up elsewhere, so that is awesome to see. Awesome for the games industry to kind of come out and support Telltale's developers to make sure that they are able to continue doing what they love. So hope to see a lot of the excellent story writing that was in the Telltale games and other games going forward. I know a lot of the big studios actually were able to grab a few developers and writers from Telltale. So hopefully that does continue. I'd love to see another kind of higher end developer grab this kind of genre, this comic book style, and do kind of give it the love it deserves with a higher budget and higher end things. Because although Telltale did an incredible job with it, they were, of course, an indie, as they are in this part. They just didn't have the budgeting and things of that nature that would allow them to really succeed in the industry or succeed in this market, being as it is a very niche market, it's a very niche game. But as far as it goes, the fun factor emergence is actually very, very good. It kind of, the stories bring you in, they connect you to your character that you play as in each and every one of them. And of course, in this, you're Batman, so that's for a lot of people a big draw. But they really do, the writing itself is so well done that I think it pulls you into the story, and you really do feel the weight or the impact of the decisions you make. And I think that's incredibly fun, and it kind of puts you into the game as that character. And not a lot of other games have this depth of emergence where your decisions are completely changing the game, or the story going forward. I know RPGs do, of course, but this is a little bit different even than that. But moving on from there, control and gameplay mechanics. This isn't a game really based on these. It doesn't have a lot of them, I guess. It's all story and choice and kind of just it is what it is as far as the game goes. It's focused more on those than any kind of mechanics or anything like that. Like there's no button pressing, there's no combos, there's nothing of that nature in this. So as far as that goes, for controls, it's not really too much there. But as far as gameplay mechanics go, it is the choice-based system in the game is incredible. I think the ability to kind of write your own story as you go in a game is very, very well done in these. In each and every one of them, you have a multitude of endings. You can die early. There's a lot that goes on in these that really does make the game enjoyable in that manner. Graphics, let's talk about next. Graphics in these games are beautiful because it's a comic strip or it's in the comic art style, and the art is just incredible. As you can see in the video behind, the art is beautiful. It is very reminiscent of comic books. It's so well done. I'm pretty sure a lot of it's hand drawn. Don't quote me on that, but I'm almost positive it is. and it's just so well done. And you don't have a game that looks like this. You don't have a game that plays like this out there now that Telltale's gone. And I would really, like I said before, really love to see another studio grab this opportunity now that there's no competition out there and really see what they could do with it. A game developer like BioWare or something like that, who are very, very good story writers, but might be struggling in the market right now. Although Anthem, I heard, was making an upswing, but something like that could really change the market, I guess. It could really change the studio's kind of view or people's view of the studio because it is kind of negative. And it's not just BioWare, but there are a lot of studios out there that this kind of story driven comic book strip game would really benefit. And I would love to see one of them grab something like this. Music and sound with these games, it's not a focus, I guess. It's there. It's kind of I think it would be hard to work it in. The voice acting is very well done in these, so I guess I'll include that here because it's very well done. It really does like in this one, it reminds you quite a bit of Batman or Catwoman is in this, as you can see by the thumbnail. It just kind of it's done really well as far as the voice acting. Some really high end actors that would actually surprise you or taking being in these games. And I think that's very well done by Telltale, or was, sorry, well done by Telltale. Um, but like I said, the music's not exactly a focus. I think the voice acting was a major focus for them because it does really help with emergence. And I think that's something that is being focused much more on going forward for a lot of developers. So I'm very happy to see that. Some of the voice actors out there are absolutely incredible. You guys saw Arthur Morgan from RDR2. His name eludes me, but you saw the awards he won. He absolutely piled them up at the awards. It was just an incredible performance by him. So I do love the kind of focus that is going into voice acting now in games. It really does help with the immersion. But moving on really quickly from there, we've got story and replayability. And that's where this game absolutely shines. That's where all of the Telltale games shine. They take from their source material and they just run with it and they create stories based on these that are just incredible. They create multiple endings. They create so much replayability with their stories, and so many random things can happen. You really do have to go in and really focus on the decisions you're making because if you make the wrong decision, your character very may well die. It's not like it's a character creation or anything of that nature. Your character is the protagonist of the story, and you can absolutely get them killed early. You can absolutely get them killed before the end. And I think that something like that really does make the game very well done because it forces you to really put the time and effort into making the decisions. Or if you want to kill your character, you want to see how that goes, go ahead. That's an option they give you. So I think that the story and replayability of the game is kind of out of this world. It's one of the higher end ones for me but at the same time, it's going to be person by person, I guess, is the best way to put that because it's a lot of reading. These games are very much a story being told to you through kind of your decisions in the comic strip art. But simultaneously, if you're not really into the reading or the comic books or things of that nature, these games might not be for you. And that is completely okay. Everybody has their own kind of likes and dislikes in gaming. But this series is all about providing you guys with a multitude of options and a multitude of developers for the indies that are out there that don't get the love that they deserve. So that's all I've got for you. As always, I hope you have an awesome weekend. Have a great day.